Arcade is a game that has a lot of depth, and it can be overwhelming sometimes. So in this video, I'm going to give you a quick rundown on how to build your class, and I'll also hit on hybrids just a little bit. First off, there are 12 trees, including the new one coming out in 6.0, and there are also over 100 classes, so it's okay to be overwhelmed. But in actuality, it's a lot easier to build a class than you think. I'm going to give you the basic rundown and building blocks on how to build your perfect class. First off, there are two types of trees: primary trees and utility or secondaries. Primary trees consist of archery, battle rage, vitalism, defense, sorcery, malediction, and swiftblade. Secondaries consist of occultism, witchcraft, shadow play, oromancy, and songcraft. Alright, so here's my template I'm going to lay out for you. You want at least one primary tree, like I said before. Then you can either go for a secondary primary tree that synergizes pretty well with your first pick, or you can go for your first utility tree. And you can just repeat this for the third step as well. Just make sure the skills you pick fit your playstyle, because the first time leveling a character can be crucial, since no one wants to level up a tree line because they ended up not liking their first choice. What you should be aware of when you're building your class is the passives. Since you no longer pay for passives, it's very important that the passives have some sort of synergy with your class. So now that I talked about classes, let's move on to hybrids. Hybrids are actually not that terrible in Arcade, however they do have their problems, and you should be wary when you're trying to play a hybrid. Hybrids use two or more of the main primary trees and don't use many or if any of the secondary trees. So the main trees are archery, battle rage, vitalism, defense, sorcery, malediction, and swiftblade. Something that would be considered not a hybrid would be a sorcery malediction build, since both use magic power and scale off the same kind of weapons. Something that would be considered as a hybrid would be an archery vitalism build, because you are now essentially a healer and an archer DPS. So I mentioned some issues with hybrids. The biggest issue with hybrids is splitting your stats. When you are an archer, just a pure archer, you only have to worry about agility. However, when you are an archer and vitalism build, you have to worry about spirit and agility, because your healing power will also scale off spirit. That means you will only have about half of the stats available to you than you would normally. But you say, Alex, I really want to go a paladin, which is battle rage, defense, and vitalism, and that's fine, you can do it. I'm just telling you what you should be aware of. Another issue that pops up is only really for mages that are trying to also be healers. Now this is an issue only really mages have to deal with, because staffs and scepters, which are the magic weapons in this game, have a stat that replaces the healing power for magic power. And clubs, like vice versa, do not have any magic power, only have healing power and melee damage. And since you can't equip a scepter or a club as a secondary weapon in your offhand, that means you would have to run a weapon switch. Now with those issues, does that mean you shouldn't play a hybrid? No, you should be able to play what you want. And if you want to play a paladin, you do it. There's nothing wrong with it. However, I wanted to tell you what the issues were so you wouldn't be blindsided. Alright guys, that's it for me. I'll see you in the next video.
Baby, let me have you just one more night, 'cause there is no diffusing this dynamite. Baby, let me have you just one more night, 'cause there is no diffusing this dynamite. Baby, let's create more density. Sparks turn into fire unintentionally. Feel my body move.